Morning, Yunus. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thank you. I can see that you're wearing a different training kit today, so I wanted to ask you a little bit more about that. I know it's the No More Red campaign, and Arsenal women's team will be debuting their kit for this Watford game.
Yeah, and I mean it's the third season that we're running the campaign, but it's the first time that we've been able to for the women's team as well to wear the No More Red jerseys, and I think that's a really powerful message because it's such a visual campaign, and a lot of the message is in the match jersey, and I think that's one part that is really nice, that we're able to having both first teams wearing the jersey, but also secondly to see that it's not a one-off campaign, that is the third consecutive season that we're running the campaign. And I think in order to change things you need to be able to invest long term in them as well, and it's been really pleasing to see that the club and Adidas has been willing to do that.
Lovely, it's great to hear. How was the warm weather training that you had in Portugal, but also the new addition of Emily Fox to the team? You must be really pleased with that signing. And what made you bring in a player like that to the squad, and what value do you see her bringing to the team?
Yeah, first off, it was really nice being in Portugal, getting time working together again after a Christmas break. Of course, it was also nice to see the sun and getting a little bit of vitamin D. So I think we got off to a really good start to the season. Bringing in Emily, really excited to see what she can do here in the team. I think she has a lot of attributes that makes her a very strong fullback for us. She's good on the ball. She's comfortable with both her right and her left foot. She can play wide. She can play inside the pitch. She has an explosiveness that comes in as a real key strength, both to handle 1v1 situations, but also transition moments in the game. But as always, you're coming into a new team. Of course, there's going to be a period of adaptation, but I think so far she's settled in very well.
We're nearly 2 weeks into the transfer window, and I guess in some way you've done quite an amount of business. You've done some business early. I know Noel's gone to Aston Villa as well. What can you, I guess, when the transfer window closes, what would be an ideal for you? Like, what do you see the best situation being for Arsenal women at that point?
What would the best situation be? I think we need to cover for particular one situation, and that is the Gold Cup that we have coming up in February, March, and that we have a very high likelihood of having one of our goalkeepers being selected for that. And we can't really predict on how the availability is going to be for the rest of our goalkeepers during that period, or how long that period is going to be. So ideally we bring someone in to help us through that period in order to manage that risk in a good way. That's one thing that we need to do. And then it's about to finding the balance between what our players need for their development onto what the squad needs. We have in this half of the season 2 players returning from injuries in both Leah Williamson and Laura Wienreuter, so that's 2 additions for us, which is really good. As you said, we have Noel leaving permanently. We have a player like Key, who I think is a phenomenal talent for us, but hasn't had enough game time in order to keep on the progression that we see that she has. So that's what we want her to go on a loan, but not permanently, but a season-long loan here until the summer, with a lot of game time, and then I'm sure she will continue her development and coming back in a really strong position, taking an important role in our squad going forward. So it's those considerations that we do. But apart from bringing in another goalkeeper, I don't think, if not anything out of the box will present itself for us, I think we will be doing any more incoming business.
On that goalkeeper situation, there was a lot of speculation around Mary Earps in the summer window. Is that a conversation that's been retouched at the moment?
I'm not going to comment on any individual goalkeepers in this regards over here, but ideally for us, given our goalkeeping situation now here, we will be looking for a shorter term solution that will be spanning over this international period where the Gold Cup is being played.
Lovely. And just lastly for me, I know you mentioned Leah Williams and some of the players returning. I just want updates on some of those injuries that you can or you are expecting to return over the next couple of months. Like when can we expect to see them and how their development is going at the minute? Leah
is going very well. Shouldn't be too far off from returning to play. She's been basically returning to full training here now, so that's very pleasing. So she needs a little bit more of that, but after that I think we can introduce her to game minutes as well. Laura Wienreuter is a little bit further back for that, and she's still waiting to return to football training, but once that will go, she will also start to progress. We have Kim Little, who's had a foot injury, and we're still managing that one, and we will need to see once we get closer here now to the games on her availability. And then we have Lena Hurtig, who has had troubles with the back. That's been keeping her away from training, and that's also something we need to keep monitoring, keep working with, but that one will take a little bit longer as it stands now for the moment.
Lovely. Sorry, very quickly, just one game-related question. I guess, with how important is it for you, knowing that the success you've had in previous cup runs, and to get a good cup run in the FA Cup, alongside, obviously, I know the priority is always in the league and trying to get into the Champions League and almost winning the league as well, but trying to get a good cup run and knowing how fundamental that the FA Cup has become to women's football over the last couple of years?
No, we want to compete in all competitions that we're playing, so this is really important for us. There is no reason for us not to prioritize these games. I think one thing, sometimes I have ideas about how you could schedule things differently, but the way that the FA Cup games are scheduled, I think they're always scheduled in a way where you easily can make that the priority. So there's no excuse not being able to field your best teams in these competitions. So that's exciting.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Tim?
Yeah, sure. I can be a bit more direct in my questions then on the back of that. Can I ask first whether you can comment on the links with Catherine Kuhl and Everton, and on the goalkeeper situation? Sarah Buhadi is a free agent. Is she a player who'd be of interest for the goalkeeper position?
Yeah, our preference with Key would be to go to Everton on a loan for a number of reasons. I think the style of play that they have will suit her in possessions abilities a lot. I think her number one thing to work and develop will be decision making, and in order to do so you need to be on the ball enough times, and I know she will be an important part of what they're trying to build. And also because she's worked with a manager in Everton before, I think that's a really strong indicator for me that he knows her both as a player and a person. So you can never get assurances in football, but I think this is as close as you can get it, that she will get a lot of game time for them. So that's the preference. Regarding the goalkeeper, Sarah, yeah, she would also be a player here that we would prefer getting in. But as with both these things here, we need to wait until things are finalized. But she could be an ideal candidate coming in short term with her experience, leadership qualities, and qualities as a goalkeeper as well.
And over the break, I imagine you and your staff would have been looking back and reviewing things from the first half of the season. What were the things that really jumped out at you? And I'm thinking in particular of the attack, because Arsenal are, I think, one of only 3 teams in the WSL underperforming XG at the moment, and I wondered whether that's something you and your staff were really looking at.
Yeah, I mean, we look at it 2 ways. One is that if we look at it from an XG perspective, we're having the best XG difference in the league, which I think is a very long time since Arsenal had that. I think you have to go back to the championship winning season 2018-19 when Arsenal had the best XG difference in the league.
25.
But XG difference doesn't win you trophies. Last year in the league, Manchester City had the best XG difference in the league, and they finished 4th. That tells you that they were a very strong team last season, but that in itself doesn't win you anything. And we can see that we have underperformed both in offense and in defense. We concede more goals than we probably should, and we score less goals than we should as well. Part of that has been to say that we create a lot of chances, but not enough high value chances, especially when we're playing against low blocks. When we're playing against teams that open up the games a little bit more, and I take Leicester as an example, there we don't have any problem creating high value chances either, and there we also score 6 goals as sort of a result like that. And I think we've been a very good and effective team when the pitch has been opening up for us, but we're the team that has spent the most